Welcome to the engine room. Today we're doing differential fluids and transfer case fluid on my 2016 Ram 2500 PowerWagon. It's a 6.4 liter gas engine. It's got a 66 RFE transmission, BorgWarner 4447 transfer case. The electric shift is a 4446, so there's a manual shift. Front axle is a AAM 9 1/4, and then the rear is an AAM 11 1/2. I'm going to start with the front. I'm going to dump oil, give it some time to drip, close up the front, move on to the transfer case, and then turn the truck around and do the rear end. As I said, this is a AAM 9 1/4, so this is the front. There are 12 10mm head bolts that go all the way around it. So I'm going to pull all those. I'm going to leave the top on, and then I'll break it free and let it drip. That way it's nice and clean, doesn't splash everywhere. As I said, this is a PowerWagon, so it actually has the E-locker set up. So you see power coming in there. And then when it's not locked up, it is an open differential. The other thing I forgot to mention is that this is actually, because it's a PowerWagon, these are also 410 geared axles. So the thickness of the thickness of the ring gear is a lot larger because the pinion's smaller. This is the front axle cover. There's really, there's a little bit of metal on that, but nothing too crazy. We got about 76,000 on this truck, 76,000 miles. I spent a little bit of time in four-wheel drive, but not enough to really get it to wear. So not too bad. So this is all cleaned up. This is the 9 1/4 diff cover. I forgot to take the plug out, and it's a little difficult to take out while the cover's off. So I'm going to put the cover back on, torque it all down, and then I'll wrench that off, get it filled. Have these, picked up these beautiful LubeLocker gaskets. This is the front. It's the model number. So AAM 9 1/4, 12 bolts. And there is the gasket. I said I wasn't going to use any solvents, but I just used a little bit of starting fluid just to get this surface completely dry, and I did the same with the differential itself. Nothing inside the differential, but just on a rag, and it's nice and dry. These are designed to be installed dry. No gasket maker. So I'm going to put this on now. I went around this perimeter where there's that edge of rust. Went around with a razor scraper first, knocked off anything that was protruding, and then went around the whole thing with some Scotch-Brite, some basic Scotch-Brite pad, just to get any burrs off, get it clean. Gave it a quick shot of starting fluid on a rag, wiped it clean so it's dry. Gasket, cover. The original bolts have Loctite on them. So I'm actually going to put just a drop of blue Loctite on each one, just while I have the opportunity. It's not going to hurt it. The torque spec on these is 30 foot-pounds. So I'm actually going to go to 20 first. I'm going to try to do this as evenly as possible. I'm going to kick it up to 30. 30. And that's that. torqued everything to 20 crisscross, torqued everything to 30 crisscross, and then just went around to double check. So we're at 30 foot-pounds on all the outer bolts. I'm going to pull this plug and we'll get this filled up. Just use a 1/2-inch ratchet with an impact adapter. This is 3/8. There's a gasket on there. Keep that nice and clean. I'm gonna clean up that hole, fill it, plug back in, and be complete. This is getting Amsoil Severe Gear 7590. Comes in these nice squeeze packs, so shouldn't be too bad. Don't need a pump, which is nice. So make sure that that's clean. It's actually squirted any residual from the first quart into the second, so I don't waste any. This one you fill to the bottom of the hole. The 11.5, it's actually supposed to be a 1/4 inch below the hole. But this one is supposed to be at the fill port level. Okay, there it is. Now it's filling out. So 2 1/4 quarts maybe. And put the fill plug in. It goes in dry. It's got a rubber gasket. And torque spec on the fill plug is 24 foot-pounds. Let me go right to it. Let me give this a quick wipe, and then front is complete. Okay, you're gonna pull the plugs on this transfer case. Now, this is a PowerWagon, so we got skid plates and bars and all kinds of structure. But they still leave a provision for transfer case drain. So this is tapered down. We'll see how well it catches, but pull these plugs. So there's a bottom drain and a fill. It's just a 3/8 ratchet. So I'm gonna break them free. Non-magnetic plug. We'll let that drip for a while. So non-magnetic plug on the bottom as well. They're the same plug, top and bottom. This is a BorgWarner 4447. So they make the 4446 and the 4447. 4446 has the electric shift. So that circle up there is where the electric shift module would mount, and it would be open. On this, it has a floor shifter, so it's manual, and it just, it's all capped off. It's a different case. So this takes ATF plus 4. Because I'm getting all the oil out, I'm gonna refill it with Amsoil ATF plus 4 signature series. The transmission, I'm gonna end up doing that. I'm gonna stick with the Mopar stuff because I'm gonna be mixing. But in this case, and with the transfer case and with the differentials, all the oil's coming out, so it's a full replacement. So rather than mixing, full replacement, all Amsoil. Alright, let this drip for about 15 minutes. Wiped everything down. This is the drain plug. It had a little bit of white sealant on it, so I actually just put a little bit of PTFE white pipe dope on it, just to help it go in and to help seal it up. And put the drain plug back in. Torque spec on this is 15 foot-pounds. gonna wipe down everything, make sure that that outside of that fill hole is clean, and then I could fill it back up. Refilling with ATF Amsoil 100% synthetic ATF Signature Series. This is the multi-vehicle. It matches the same requirements for ATF +4 Mopar. Have the fill plug cleaned and just got a little bit of PTFE dope on there. I'll put that in. And that's all done. Took just under 2 full quarts. Everything online said 1.9, so right on the money. I did buy an extra quart of ATF and an extra quart of gear lube, just to be on the safe side and to have a little extra on the shelf. But so far, everything online in terms of fill quantities has been accurate. So I think I said the front was 1.9, but it's actually 2.4, a little bit more than I thought it was. This is 1.9. Front's 2.4, rear's 4.5 quarts, I believe. I'll put it all in the description. Final numbers. All right, front axle is complete. Transfer case is complete. I'm gonna get this spun around and do the rear end. This is a AAM 11.5, 410 gears, LubeLocker factory. There's a little bit more going on here. Got these, a little bit of bracketry, this little clip for the brake line. I'm gonna pull that all off, pull the cover, let this thing drip. I have a LubeLocker gasket for this as well, and more Amsoil. So, let me get this taken apart now. These two upper screws are 13mm, or nuts rather. I just happen to have a pass-through socket, but you can use a long socket, deep socket instead. Bracket off, move it out of the way. Should fit right above. Perfect. Nice. Okay. Just try not to destroy this little clip. I just kind of wiggled it, spun it off, and then I'm just gonna hammer it flat so that the tabs go back in, and then it'll slide back over and it'll hold. It's just for this brake line and wheel speed sensor. So that's out of the way. I'm gonna pull this stud, extension back on for that. These are all 13mm. Okay. I'm gonna break this fill plug free before I pull the cover off. Not enough room to fit that, so it's an old ratchet. I'm not too worried about it. They're pretty strong, and I didn't hit it that hard. Now there shouldn't be any fluid at the nut because the fluid level is about 1/4 inch below that point. The front drive, the front differential, you fill until it comes out. The transfer case, you fill until it comes out. The rear, you go to the fluid level. It's a 1/4 inch below. So there's a plug. Not too bad. A little bit of metal. I'll wipe it all onto a rag and we'll look at it in a little bit. That's clear. Fluid's in there for sure. You keep that top bolt in until it's free. And let it drip. Just wiped off this drain plug. That's everything that was on it. Really not bad at all, actually. There's very little bit of metal on there, so that's cleaned up. Got this all cleaned up. Hit the surface with some starting fluid just to dry off any oil or any residue. Got the LubeLocker 11.5. That's part number for the rear. Got this clean. Hit the surface, the ceiling surface with Scotch-Brite. Just cleaned it up, got any burrs off. Gave it a quick shot of starting fluid on the rag, wiped it down, make sure that there's no residue so everything's dry, ready to be installed. I bought this truck in 2019. It's a 2016 model. It had 11,000 original miles on it. And I was always under the impression that it had a open differential, but it actually has the Ram anti-slip diff. So you got a limited slip differential with the e-locker. Not a bad setup. Now I'm gonna put this lid on, torque everything down, fill it up with oil, and we'll be on our way. Now, got my LubeLocker gasket. This all cleaned up. I'm gonna put Loctite on these bolts again like they were, just like I did on the front, just a little bit. The torque spec on all these is 30 foot-pounds. I'm set to 20. Gonna do them all at 20 first, and then go back around cross pattern, get it up to 30. You go up to 30, 25, 30. That's all the ones that I can torque. These ones I'm gonna bring to pretty much the same point, give or take. That's gonna be 30 elbow pounds on the long studs, 30 inch-pounds on the rest. Put that back. Back in business. And tighten these up. All right, ready for fluid. Okay, new oil going in. This is Amsoil Severe Gear 7590, same as the front. I got 4 bags prepped. This is the other half from the front axle. So front axle took 2.3 quarts, and this is the other half. So I'm just gonna use this up first and then pop in the other 4. I'll probably check fill before I put it all in, or check the level, because the level is technically a 1/4 inch below the fill port. check fluid level, I'm using an Allen key because it's got to be about a 1/4 inch below the fill mark. So I'm gonna tuck this in, run it down, and then pull it out and see where we're at. So just about at fill level right there. I'm gonna double check, but looks good. Come out the same way. Looks about right there. I think we're in good shape. So if that's the bottom, that's the fill level, about a 1/4 inch below, straight across. And I think we're good. I'm gonna leave it just like that, and I'll recheck after some mileage, but should be good. Fill plug, original O-ring. Doesn't need any sealant because it has the O-ring on the face and seals to this face. This is nice and clean. I put this in. Torque spec on that is 24 foot-pounds. This is already set. Alright, rear end is done. Everything's torqued down, no leaks. We're a 1/4 inch below the fill port. All 14 bolts are torqued to 30 foot-pounds on the perimeter. Fill plug torqued to 24 foot-pounds. Gonna do a cleanup and be done here. So, we got just a recap. We got AAM 9 1/4 in the front. Took about, well, it said it was going to take 2.3 quarts, took just about 2.3. So rear end is an 11.5 AAM, took 4 quarts total, a little over 4. And then I did the transfer case as well, so that's a BorgWarner 4447 manual shift. That took exactly 1.9 quarts, so that's what it said online. It took just under the full 2 quarts of ATF. So everything's sealed up and we are finished here. So next I'm going to be doing the transmission service, so that'll be another video. Look out for that one. And that's it. Done for now.